Yes, dear students, next we have the lacrimal apparatus. Which all parts are included under the lacrimal apparatus? First of all, we have to tell. Firstly, the structures concerned with the secretion and drainage of lacrimal or tear fluid constitute the lacrimal apparatus. Lacrimal apparatus means a secretion and drainage of the lacrimal fluid is the function of lacrimal apparatus. So the structures which are involved in the secretion and drainage of tear fluid. So which are they? It is made up of the following parts. Firstly, there is the lacrimal gland. Then the conjunctival sac, and the lacrimal puncta or lacrimal canaliculae, which has got a vertical and a horizontal part. Then lacrimal sac, then nasolacrimal duct. Lacrimal sac and nasolacrimal duct. Lacrimal sac and nasolacrimal duct. So this much are the parts of lacrimal apparatus. Together it should help in the secretion and drainage of the lacrimal fluid or tear back to the nasolacrimal duct. The lacrimal gland, firstly, the lacrimal gland is a serous gland situated chiefly in the lacrimal fossa. On the anterolateral part of the roof of bony orbit. Roof of bony orbit is here. Orbit is here. This much orbit will be there around the area. Its anterolateral part. So this comes lateral, right? Here is the nose part, medial part. This is lateral. So this is the anterolateral part of the roof of bony orbit, and partly on the upper eyelid. It is situated. Partly on the upper eyelid. The lacrimal gland is situated. First we have to tell this is the anterolateral part of the orbit. Which part of the orbit? The roof of bony orbit, and partly on the upper eyelid. So small accessory lacrimal glands are found in the conjunctival fornices. There are small accessory lacrimal glands are also found. The conjunctival fornices means a junction between the palpebral part of the eyelid. It has got a conjunctiva, and the bulbar part within the eyeball, in the outer part of the sclera, there is bulbar conjunctiva. So in between these two there is fornix part. So there also there are accessory lacrimal glands which are very small. Then here is also one lacrimal gland. Main lacrimal gland is here in the anterolateral part of the orbit, and few are seen in the and with few part is within the each part of the eyelid, upper eyelid. And small accessory lacrimal glands along with the main lacrimal gland. There are very few accessory lacrimal glands found in the conjunctival fornices, between the area of the conjunctiva of eyelid and the conjunctiva seen in front of the sclera in the eyeball. The gland is J-shaped. What is the shape of the gland? So see, J. Whether you can see a J-shaped gland. J-shaped gland it is. The shape of the gland is J-shaped. Being indented by the tendon of levator palpebrae superioris muscle. The levator palpebrae, elevator of the upper eyelid, is called as levator palpebrae superioris muscle. So that is there in the upper eyelid. Hence the shape J is there. The shape of the lacrimal gland. The shape of the lacrimal gland, if it will ask, it is J-shaped, being indented by the tendon of levator palpebrae superioris muscle. It has an orbital part which is larger and deeper, and a palpebral part which is smaller and superficial. The palpebral part means what? Related to the eyelid. Palpebral means related to the eyelid. Orbital part means related to the orbit, which is larger. Orbit part which is related to the orbit is larger, whereas the part which is related to the eyelid, that means the palpebral part, is smaller and superficial, lying within the eyelid, which is superficial. Understood? About a dozen of its ducts pierce the conjunctiva of the upper lid and open into the conjunctival sac near the superior fornix. So there are dozens of its ducts piercing the conjunctival area of the upper lid and opened into the conjunctival sac. So this is the conjunctival sac. It opens into the conjunctival sac near the superior fornix. So there are dozens of ducts entering into the conjunctival sac near the superior fornix. Most of the ducts of the orbital part pass through the palpebral part. Most of the ducts of the orbital part pass through the palpebral part. Means through the eyelid, palpebral part. Most of the ducts comes out through the palpebral part. It means most of the ducts comes out through the palpebral part. So removal of the latter is functionally equal to the removal of the entire gland. That means if you are trying to remove the eyelid part, so when you do any surgical procedure along the eyelids, suppose, so if you are by mistakenly, if you are doing a cut on the area of the palpebral part means eyelid part. So if you cut there, it will hamper the flow of the secretions coming from the lacrimal gland. So most of the ducts of the orbital part pass through the palpebral part. Removal of any of the area is functionally equal to the removal of the entire gland. After removal, the conjunctiva and the cornea are moistened by the accessory lacrimal glands. I told very few accessory lacrimal glands are also there. After removal of the conjunctiva and cornea, conjunctival area and the cornea are moistened by the accessory lacrimal glands. Clear? The gland is supplied by lacrimal branch of the ophthalmic artery and the lacrimal nerve. The nerve has both sensory and secretomotor fibers. The lacrimal fluid is secreted by lacrimal gland, which flows into the conjunctival sac, where it lubricates the front of the eye and the deep surface of the lids. Front of the eye it will lubricate and deep surface of the lids. Periodic blinking helps to spread the fluid over the eye. Most of the fluid evaporates. The rest is drained by the lacrimal canaliculi. lacrimal canaliculi, through the lacrimal canaliculi, the rest of the fluid is drained. To the lacrimal canaliculi onto nasolacrimal duct. Next is the conjunctival sac. Firstly, about the conjunctiva, we have to go through the features of conjunctival sac. So which are the features of the conjunctival sac? Conjunctival lining, the deep surface of the eyelid is called as palpebral conjunctiva. Eyelid in the back conjunctiva area is the palpebral conjunctiva, and the lining in front of the eyeball is bulbar conjunctiva. Potential space between palpebral and bulbar parts is the conjunctival sac. So conjunctival sac and then it is a potential space between palpebral conjunctiva and the bulbar conjunctiva. The lines along which the palpebral conjunctiva of the upper and lower eyelid is reflected onto the eyeball are called as superior and inferior conjunctival fornices. The lines along which the palpebral conjunctiva and upper and lower part of lower eyelid is reflected onto the eyeball and is called as superior and inferior conjunctival fornices. രണ്ട് ഏരിയയിൽ these two meets, so that area is called as fornices. So ആ ഏരിയയിലാണ് നമ്മൾ superior fornixലാണ് നമുക്ക് എന്ത് കാണുമെന്ന് പറഞ്ഞത്, accessory lacrimal glands are seen in the superior fornix area. Palpebral conjunctiva is thick, opaque and highly vascular. Palpebral conjunctiva is thick, opaque and highly vascular. Opaque ആണ്, opposite to the transparent, അല്ലേ, opaque and highly vascular and are adherent to the tarsal plate. Tarsal plate എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ upper tarsal plate means upper eyelid is the superior tarsus muscle, tarsal plate, upper tarsal plate. The bulbar conjunctiva over the sclera covers the sclera. Bulbar conjunctiva covers the scleral part. It is thin, transparent and is loosely attached to the eyeball over the cornea, and it represents the anterior epithelium of the corneum. So epithelial layer അടുത്തായിട്ട് കാണുന്ന ഏത്, bulbar conjunctiva anteriorly. Lacrimal punctum. Next we are seeing the lacrimal punctum. Features of lacrimal punctum and canaliculi. Each lacrimal canaliculi begins at the lacrimal punctum. Lacrimal punctum and area which is attaching to the conjunctival sac. So area, lacrimal punctum, junction between the conjunctival sac to the canaliculi is called as punctum and is 10 millimeter long. Lacrimal punctum, and it has a vertical part which is 2 millimeter long. Vertical part which is 2 millimeter long, and it has a horizontal part which is 8 millimeter long. So lacrimal canaliculi, length of lacrimal canaliculi, its vertical part is 2 millimeter long and a horizontal part which is 8 millimeter long. So total canaliculi, length of the canaliculi is 10 millimeter long. So there is a dilated ampulla at the bend. Dilated ampulla is seen at the bend of vertical part and horizontal part. So this is the dilated sac-like area which is called as ampulla. So both canaliculi open close to each other at the lateral wall of the lacrimal sac behind the medial palpebral ligament. Both the dilated ampulla, both the canaliculi open close to each other in the lateral wall of the lacrimal sac behind the medial palpebral ligament. Open each other onto the lateral wall of lacrimal sac. എവിടേക്കാണ് ഓപ്പൺ ചെയ്യുന്നത് canaliculi? Open into the lacrimal sac behind the medial palpebral ligament. Medial palpebral ligament ഇവിടെ anteriorly വരുന്നു, opens onto the lacrimal sac. The lacrimal sac ന്റെ features, it is lacrimal sac നോക്കൂ എല്ലാവരും. The upper part of the nasolacrimal duct, it is sac-like lacrimal sac, It is membranous sac of 12 millimeter long and is 5 millimeter wide. 12 millimeter long and 5 millimeter wide. 12 millimeter long and 5 millimeter wide. Situated in the lacrimal groove behind the medial palpebral ligament. So, lacrimal groove is situated in the lacrimal sac behind the medial palpebral ligament. So, its upper end is blind. Blind means upper end is closed. Upper end is closed and blind. Lower end is continuous with the nasolacrimal duct. Its measurement of 12 millimeter long, 12 millimeter long and 5 millimeter wide. 5 millimeter wide. The sac is related anteriorly to the medial palpebral ligament and to the orbicularis oculi. Medial palpebral ligament is anteriorly കാണുന്നത് and to the orbicularis oculi muscle which is around the orbit. Orbicularis oculi muscle, facial muscle. Muscle of facial expression. One of the muscle of facial expression is around this part. So anterior part of the lacrimal sac. There is medial palpebral ligament and which structure orbicularis oculi muscle. Medially, the lacrimal groove separates it from the nose. So laterally, it is related to lacrimal fascia and the lacrimal part of orbicularis oculi muscle. So laterally, it is related to lacrimal fascia and lacrimal part of orbicularis oculi muscle. The sac is related anterior to the medial palpebral ligament and orbicularis oculi muscle. Clear? The inflammation of the lacrimal sac is called as dacrocystitis. Lacrimal sac വരുന്ന ഇൻഫെക്ഷൻ്റെ പേരാണ് ഡാക്രോസിസ്റ്റൈറ്റിസ്. അടുത്തായിട്ട് നേസോലാക്രിമൽ ഡക്ട്. ലെങ്ത് ഓർത്തിരിക്കണം. നേസോലാക്രിമൽ ഡക്ട് ഈസ് എ മെംബ്രീനസ് പാസേജ് ഓഫ് 18 millimeter ലോങ്. 18 millimeter ലോങ് ആയിട്ടുള്ള മെംബ്രീനസ് പാസേജ് ആണ്. ഇറ്റ് ബിഗിൻസ് അറ്റ് ദി ലോവർ എൻഡ് ഓഫ് ദി lacrimal sac. Lower end of the lacrimal sac it begins and runs downwards, backwards and laterally. Downwards, backwards and laterally. Clear? And opens into the inferior meatus of the nose. Meatus of nose നമ്മൾ പറഞ്ഞു. അതിൽ inferior meatus of nose. A fold of mucous membrane called as valve of Hasner forms the imperfective valve at the lower end of the duct. So at the lower end of nasolacrimal duct there is an imperfect valve at the lower end called as valve of Hasner. Valve of Hasner. This much is about the lacrimal apparatus, having lacrimal gland, conjunctival sac, lacrimal puncta, which is the opening onto the lacrimal canaliculi. Canaliculi has got a vertical part and a horizontal part. Then the lacrimal sac, nasolacrimal duct. And this much is about the lacrimal apparatus.